Hello, welcome in. Welcome in. Hello guys, welcome. I will be participating in the Good Omen Cyber Market. And as a part of my vending, which we usually do in Oakland, due to Corona, we're doing it cyber this year. So I'm going to be doing some live rapping for you guys, and we're going to do some tarot. So for the first half hour, it's going to be just the crystal wrapping. So if you guys have any questions or anything you want to talk about, feel free to put it in the comment. I don't know how to pin things to the comments. Let me actually see. Oh, there we go. Alright. So we're going to be doing live readings for the first half of... live crystal wrappings for the first half of my live session for the Good Omen Market. Really quick, I want to show you guys some of the pieces that are available right now. So I have this new piece I just made. This one is a little bigger than the average choker just because I wanted it to have more of a ancient effect of having like those thick ass, pieces that they'd wear on their chest. So this has angel light, which is good for communication. It's good for connecting to your spirit guides. It's good for just any sort of expression. Then we have some rainbow moonstone and malachite, which are both really good for protection and prosperity. Let's see. Sorry, let me turn that on silent. Then I have this other necklace that I made as well. This one's with lavender jade, which lavender jade is something I didn't even know existed. Which it does everything regular jade does, but because it's purple, it definitely changes the frequency. So it'll help also like with your intuition, communication as well, and any insight that you'd want to tap into. So outside of just the luck that you'd get from jade. Let's see. I have like some rose quartz. Rose quartz is always hard to show through photos because the pink already is like barely there. But rose quartz is really good for unconditional love, for connecting and balancing your emotional being. We always gotta have some amethyst. Amethyst is really good if you have depression, anxiety, if you need like help feeling calm and stable. Or it's really good for working with your third eye and your crown chakra to help you connect to the ethers, or just spirit guides in general, or just anything that you want to do third eye related. I'm wearing my alchemy earrings, which is element air and element earth, to represent having clarity in your mind, being able to seek and tap into your mind and be able to have that balance with the earth. So the earth will help you ground while the air helps you release, which is something we all have issues with. We are great at absorbing, but we have difficulty releasing. So this pair will help you release and receive with balance. And it's made with lava stones, so that's also pretty cool. Let's see. I have these other lavender jade pieces I made. This one is a tree of life, and this one is just a flower with a carnelian in the middle, so I thought that was cute. Let's see. I also have like this bracelet this tiger's eye bracelet that I'm working on. I have to finish solidifying this piece in there, but this will be up for purchase soon. And this is from Snowflake Obsidian. Sometimes there's just like all black pieces, so I made it with the black pieces. So this is a very grounding piece that'll help you build grounding, protection, security for yourself. And the tiger's eye would also do the same, but tiger's eye also works with your solar plexus, which will help bring you willpower and strength, which is really awesome. Let me see if you guys asked any questions yet. Thank you to the compliment to my hair. Ooh, this is a fun fact. So this is petrified wood. Sorry if it's really hard to see. Petrified wood is when a tree turns into a crystal. So if you didn't know that trees, once they're old enough, can turn into a crystal. I think there's more logic behind that I can't remember right now, but it's very good for grounding and protection as well. Oh, and then how can I forget? Here we have our Merkaba. If you haven't tuned into any of my lives before, or the ones that's in my IGTV, the Merkaba is the ship that we travel in our spirits. So just like I have this piece of shungite in the middle, our spirit lies within our Merkaba. And we use this Merkaba as literally a ship, which Merkaba means ship, to travel the ethers, to astral project. And then the shungite is an EMF protector, so it'll protect me from radiation, cell phone, Wi-Fi, all of that. And then the combination with the Merkaba represents complete balance, especially because the Merkaba actually consists of a lot of different shapes within it, which makes it very unique, because most sacred geometric shapes aren't able to do that, but this specific shape is able to hold a bunch of different shapes. For example, you can't see it necessarily right now, but there's like multiple different types of triangles in here. There's a square, technically, if you can connect the dots properly, and like other shapes in there. So this is really good. I'm going to be making more of these if you're interested. And I always try to use copper. If you ever see me use other pieces of metal, it's mostly out of request. I prefer to use copper because copper is a conducive component that helps you regulate your energy and your frequency, as well as I feel like it helps amplify and control the crystal energy, which a lot of people struggle with. So the copper helps tone it down so that an individual can have its own connection to a crystal without feeling overwhelmed. And then I feel like the way I wrap my pieces kind of creates like an atmosphere or like a controlled programming that helps you also have like more use out of your piece. So today, as far as like wrapping a new piece that I want to do with you guys for the first half hour of the live, again, feel free to tune into Good Omen Market. They are tuning into everyone's lives so that you can see other vendors. And if you want to check out the other vendors, you can also go to their Instagram page. They have their website in their bio where you can see all the vendors. It's a direct link to all the vendors. So you can check out their Instagram or whatever shop they have. Okay, so I bought us like a bunch of crystals. So I have like, these are Amazonite. We have some aquamarine. We have some green calcite. We have some amethyst. And we have some tiger's eye, which you can see the difference. These are just regular tiger's eye, and this is red tiger's eye. This is also an adjustable ring. I make adjustable rings. So if you want to either switch up which finger it's on, you can just adjust the wiring to fit your finger or wherever you want to place it. For example, even with the necklaces, if you wanted to wear it as a crown, you can. You'll just have to position it how you want, of course, but I try to make everything I do multi-purposeful so that you can switch it up. So let's see, what should we wrap today? If you're just tuning in, I will be doing live readings in the second half of the Good Omen Market Live, so feel free to drop questions when that comes back around. I think I'm gonna wrap an amethyst, just because people are more familiar. Okay, let's do this one. Okay. So I personally like to do different sized gauges, so the wire comes in different gauges. If I'm not mistaken, I always get this wrong in my mind, but I think it's the smaller the number, the bigger the gauge, or something like that. So there's like different sizes. I personally like to use the small and the big size because it's just easier to not take over the piece, which I don't like doing. I don't like completely taking away from the look of the crystal. And I guess the way that I wrap the crystal is really just based on how I feel I should maneuver the wire. And I personally like to start off with my wrap of the loop, just to get started with. Different people start off different. This is how I choose to do mine. And we're gonna wrap this guy. So before I start, I try to pay attention to the stone, see what it looks like, feel it out a little bit, and try to figure out first and foremost what direction does it want to be wrapped in. Which right now I'm feeling like this is the way that it wants to be. So then after I have my loop, which I just twist around, I put it on there like that. And I like to wrap like this just because when you work with just one wire, it kind of limits me personally to like what kind of shape or formation that I want to work on. So I like to have the option to have 2 options of wire to wrap the stone with. I personally don't wear gloves when I wrap because I like to intake the copper. Some people like to use gloves, but it's up to you and how messy you want to get, because your hands will get black messing with the wire. So it's up to you if you don't mind getting your hands dirty, but like I said, I personally like to absorb the metal, so I choose to wrap with my fingers. So right now I'm just kind of just moving around the stone with one side, and then once I feel okay with that, which right now I have 2 pieces that I want, well, that the crystal wants over it, and then what I'm gonna do now is secure it onto the loop, just to get me a little more room to work with this wire. So now that I have that intact, I can leave this alone and still have some sort of shape here. So what I also like to keep in mind when I am wrapping stones is that I want to make sure, for the, at least on my end, that the stone isn't going to fall out of the caging, which tends to happen a lot. And because sometimes the crystals aren't secure, it causes people to lose their stone earlier than they were supposed to. And I know crystals leave you when they feel like they should, but when it's in the case of just bad wire wrapping, I feel like that's kind of not on the universe, that's just on the wrapper. But so now I'm gonna go over the top just to secure it from falling out from the top. And I'm gonna also just get this back over here. Like I said, as I wrap, I like to go back and connect to the loop just so that I can secure the wrapping onto the stone to avoid it falling off. So right now I feel like this is how it wants to look so far, with just 3 bars. So I'm going to cut this. And my pliers are a little dirty, but I got my pliers set from Michael's, which I think it was like 20 or 30 bucks. So to me it was cheaper to buy the set than to buy each individual item. So this is what comes in the plier set. You have like your cutter, then you have like different sized pliers and different shaped, and then this one's thicker. So I like to use the thick one to help me like hold down, and I like to use the one that's bent when I need to wrap in the smaller wire, because it helps me. You wouldn't even think it makes much of a difference, but this shape helps me get into the wire in a way that this straight shape won't let me. So this one I really, this is important for me. This one I don't use too much. I also lost the little thing for it, so it's like not even good. But this one I use more for really small spaces that I can't get into, that I need to grab wire from. But just to give you guys a little idea, then I like to take, you can use either plier, but I try to use it to just like tighten it. It helps me save wire without having it too loose. And I'm gonna cut. I like to cut with this side just because if it's on this side, it leaves a lot of gap of space. So if I use this end where it's flat, I can make sure I'm getting directly where I want to cut it. And the thicker wire is a little harder to snap off, but... And then I have like some little pieces left out, so I'm gonna close that in. Okay, now again, this is amethyst that I'm wrapping. So now I'm going to incorporate my smaller wire. The smaller wire for me is more of not just design, but it helps me really secure the piece. And I'm going to cut down to like about here. And then this is the part where I really have fun with the design, because it kind of lets me do whatever. So when it comes to securing your piece, you want to think about all the ways that the wire can come off. So technically, if it got hooked on here, it would pull off. If it got hooked on here, see, it'll come off, right? So we want to make sure that we secure that from, if it got caught onto something, it'll be secure. So I'm going to find some open space, and then just gonna use the pliers to twist some of the small wire in here. Okay, so now we have a little, sorry that this, I don't know if it's zooming in good on your end, but, so I have like a little wrap right there, and now I'm going to connect it down to this one, but I'm going to also do it at a slant, just so that I can get a little style in there. And then I like to use my finger to support where I'm putting the wire. It helps me have to pull less on it to avoid damaging or breaking the wire. That's also why I prefer to actually do most of it with my fingers, because the pliers can damage the wire, which we don't want. We want it to try to look at least semi-clean for the most part. Okay, and so now that I have a connection here, I'm gonna go down here. I wish I had like a little GoPro that I could have put on my head. This would probably be more useful if I had that. Okay. Alright, so now that I have some connection, this wire is going to be too short to reach back up here, so I'm going to just close this off down here. Like I said, I try not to waste any wire. So I'm just going to close this in. And then I always like to tighten it back together too, because when you're wrapping around, sometimes it comes out a little spaced out. So I would go like this and then close it, just to make sure the wire's lined up. Or if you want to just have like a free form looking style and you don't want it to look too put together, which I do a lot sometimes too, because it does look a little cleaner. But however you want to wrap is up to you. And then what I'm going to do is bend the wire now. So I'm gonna go like that, and I'm gonna bend it twice. So then now we have like a lightning bolt kind of thing there. And I'm gonna go on this side now. So I'm gonna get more wire that I cut. And now I'm gonna go on the other side. So I'm gonna go in there. Okay, we're gonna be switching over to live readings in a couple minutes. Again, if you're just tuning in, feel free to check out Good Omen Market. Right now is the Good Omen Market cyber market, so we are all online. You can go to their website, goodomenmarket.com, to see who the other vendors are and how to access them. The market is about handmade items, so you'd be able to get a lot of really cool stuff. I really love all the ceramics that people bring through. Okay, so now we have another loop on. We're gonna go for this bottom part, and we'll be starting readings in 3 minutes. So if you have any questions for your readings, feel free to drop them in the comments. Okay, so right now we're wrapping some amethyst, which amethyst again is good for mental clarity. It helps you with your intuition, it helps you with communication, it helps you with anxiety, depression, and just helping you find calmness in your mind. So I really like to recommend this to people that have definitely like a lot of anxiety. It's really good. Or if you're someone that get headaches a lot, seeing that headaches are like information that you can't download, the amethyst will help you process through that information. Okay, and now we're gonna bend the wire just to make it look nice. And there we go. That is how I make pendants. So I hope that helps you learn if you want to work on your own pieces, or if you have your own that you want to wrap yourself. I'm also going to save the live, so if you have any questions, you can come back. Let's see. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you for joining. Okay, so for the first half of this live, we did some crystal wrapping, told you guys a little bit about crystals, which you can also just go through my IGTV. I have another video up that tells you a lot more detail about crystals. If you're just joining, we're going to move into the reading part of the Good Omen Market Live that I'm doing for today's market, which is from 1 to 5 today. I'm going to see if I can pin. Cool. Alright, now let's move into the tarot reading part, which you guys will have to ask questions for. So, whenever you guys send some questions, I'll answer it, but in the meantime, I'll just go ahead and pull a general card since there's no questions in the comments yet, until someone asks something. But so I like to use this Ganesha deck. This deck is really amazing. It always hits. It always hits. But if you have any questions for the cards, I don't do love readings. Oh, actually, let me change this. I don't do love readings. Okay. I do know who you are. I don't know why you keep asking or saying or feeling you have to announce yourself. I'm just not personally going through the comments yet to see everyone that's in here. But happy to see you. Like I said, if you have any questions for the cards, feel free to drop them in your comments. I don't do love-related questions because I feel like when it comes to love, that is a personal choice, and people tend to hang on to spirituality as a means of giving them direction in love, but I feel like sometimes you can attach too much to outside answers, and when it comes to your heart, that's something you should always go within for. So whether or not it's a choice question or yes or no, if it's love related, I don't do it. We can set up a session for us to do a life coaching session, but I don't do love readings. I don't believe in it, so sorry if that offends you, but I just don't personally do it. I just feel like when it comes to love, things are constantly changing, and you're gonna regret listening to someone else. And I feel like that's a lot of responsibility to put on someone else, especially when we know it comes to love, people are gonna do what they want to do. And I feel like love readings can tend to give psychics work bad reps, because then when things don't go the way the psychic told you, you want to run and say it was hocus pocus and it wasn't real. But it's because when it comes to relationships, your ancestors is already telling you things, sending you signs. It's showing you things in your intuition. So I feel like it's disrespectful to a person to do a love reading for them. Just to give you guys an idea. Alright, so now that we have a good shuffle. Okay, so someone said, is my ancestors answering my prayers of manifesting a new home? Alright, let's see. And I like to read the meanings in the book just because it's always on point. So your card is revelation for the person asking about their home. And the card number is 15, which 15 is 6, which is 1 plus 5. 6 is actually all about the home. It's about the mother, it's about love, it's about your security, it's about, like you said, anything related to home, right? So let's see what the card has to say for you. Okay. Get ready for key changes in your external and internal world. You have come to an end of a cycle, and it is time for you to create something new. Through this card, Ganesha is indicating that it is time to break down some of the structures that you have created in your world. This has the potential to feel painful and challenging if you resist the process. This revelation coming to you may relate to your ego and your illusion of separateness from others. You will develop a new perspective on things, and your revelation will help you grow stronger, wiser, and more composed. You might encounter some challenges along the way, but these are necessary for your spiritual growth and enlightenment. Honesty will bring about a positive change, even if you experience some pain and anxiety through the process. When you begin to reach for your goal, you will come to realize that your true security and strength lie within yourself and your relationship with the universe, and not in some false belief system or artificially created world. Be willing to reveal your truth to those around you. So I feel like this card, definitely with the numerology, is definitely showing you that you are on the path of this home that you want to manifest into your world. But it also wants you to understand, when it comes to manifestation, it's not about how bad you want something. It's about how bad can you visualize and see yourself already having it. How much do you believe that it's already yours? How much do you believe that it's something that you are allowed to have, that you deserve to have? And it's our very own belief systems that can idle down how quick our manifestations come to us. So it's very important that it's not about the how or the yes or no, but it's more about, is it what you want? And if it is what you want, do you believe that you can have it? Do you believe that you deserve it? And if the answer is yes, then you need to trust that and not focus on what is like all the hows and what is needed and just, is it possible? Like, you have to throw all of that out the window. Manifestation is not gonna work based on ifs, buts, or maybes. It's gonna work on, this is what I want, this is what I'm visualizing, I feel myself there, and focusing on that feeling to allow yourself to truly bring it into your reality. Because what you're doing is you're bringing something from the non-physical world into the physical. So you have to start with the non-physical, but you don't only do that, you also have to give physical action. So you have to just make sure you're in the right space of mind, make sure that your belief system is proactive to you and not destructive to what you want. And 9 out of 10, when you are focused on the positive and, well, not necessarily the positive, because of course we have negative things that happen too, right? But as long as you're focused on the possibility, and that possibility being very strong and likely, the more that you will be in alignment to be always put in the right place, right time, to either meet the right people that'll help you either manifest the money, find the right people that'll help you find the right house, to just down to everything that you need. The more that you focus on both the non-physical and the physical, the more you'll bring yourself into alignment with the synchronicities that will bring you to all the people and all the things that you need in order to bring that into fruition. So it all comes down to your belief system, but it starts with you. So you need to go through a revelation process of, who am I? How am I speaking to myself? And am I being a positive action to my own wants and desires? So I think, again, the fact that you have the number 6 is symbolism that you are on the right path. You are on the path of receiving this house, but to just continue down that path and continue adding to what you need to in order to manifest. So let's see. Okay, so I see, should I stay or go? And you said it's work related. Okay, let's see. Ooh, okay, we have acceptance. So as you see here, Ganesha has a lot of fruit, which means there's a lot of abundance that's surrounding you, that's already in your possession. So let's see. Oh, and then you have 9, 10, 11, 12. You have 39, so that's a 12, which 12 is a 3. So this is about balance for you. Mind, body, and soul balance. Let's see what we have here. Okay, there is great freedom in accepting things as they are. You cannot move forward on your path until you release some of the blame, anger, and sorrow that you have collected on your life's journey. Ganesha is asking you to forgive those from the past who have hurt you and to be willing to forgive yourself too. Open your heart to the world outside and to the one within. This deeper state of recognition and acceptance is what pushes you forward in your spiritual adventure. Love without judgment and live without predetermined opinions. Accept and express your true self. The ego is beginning to align with the soul. What a relief. You don't have to control everything, fix everything, and know everything. If you have been overly serious and tense, you now start to remember happiness. You may find that you can laugh at things instead of getting infuriated. Your contentment in life improves dramatically when you harness your ability to look at the world from a more spiritual perspective. The image of Ganesha holding the banana symbolizes humility and an awareness of not placing too much importance on your thoughts or beliefs in the situation. His pot belly signifies the bounty of nature. It is said that Ganesha consumes the sadness of the universe and protects the world. Learn to honor and value others that may differ from your own. See the beauty of diversity. Once you see this beauty, it will open you to recognizing and accepting the beauty that resides within you. So I feel like this is trying to say that in order for you to find the answer, you have to accept where you are right now. And you have to be able to analyze where you are right now and be able to differentiate your feelings from trauma and your feelings from your desire of need. Because what tends to happen is our fear takes over and it stops us from taking leaps and taking moves that is worth it for us or is a part of our spiritual journey or is being called upon us to take, because we get stuck in the future or the past. We're not paying attention to the present moment, so it doesn't allow us to have mental clarity of the proper decision that we should be making. And because we're not paying attention, because we're stuck in a fear state, we're not also recognizing the angel messages or the spirit guide messages that are coming to us daily. So it's definitely time to sit with yourself in a way that you have not been able to before and really dissect what you're experiencing, dissect what you feel, dissect what you want, and really break that down. a lot of times people feel so lost and feel like the world is against them and that nothing works out. And it's because no one really thinks about what they want. You think about the programming of all these great things that exist, but you're not thinking about what do you want. You're thinking about what is being sold to you, but not what you want. So it's about really being able to sit with yourself and figure out, well, do I feel like where I am right now is beneficial to me? Am I settling? And if I am settling, is it because I'm looking at my past, or is it because I'm afraid of what I'm going to do to my future? And that is not a positive or optimistic mindset. It's not about how afraid or scary things are. It's about how strong can you be through it. Because people don't talk about the struggle. People don't talk about how hard things are. So it gives people an impression that if they feel fear or they feel like they're not competent enough, they look at that as a loss already before they even tried. So you want to make sure you're not giving yourself losses before you even get there. You want to make sure that you are being optimistic, that you are being real with yourself and taking accountability for how you think and treat yourself. Making sure that you are not, again, looking at the past or the future. The whole point of this experience is to live moment by moment, frame by frame. The minute you start looking at the past, you are no longer present. The minute you start looking at the future, you are no longer present. So you are not able to process your day-to-day moment because you're not even here. This is why you get anxiety. This is why you get fear. This is why you get this insecurity feeling inside of you, like you can't ever do something, and it's because of that. So you have to like really dissect yourself and really dissect your belief system. The belief system is literally what will make or break you in your life path. Because it's one thing to say you want something and it's another thing to do it. So like I said, people don't express how scared they are half of the time, so then it makes people think like, well, if I feel this fear, maybe I'm not meant to do it. But sometimes that fear comes from the unknown, because you're afraid and you don't even know what you're afraid of. And how else would you know what you're afraid of if you don't even talk to yourself? So, and this is not personal to the person asking the question as far as like talking to yourself, but just meaning like it is a thing that we need to do more. The same way we give all this time and energy to jobs, social media, entertainment, we need to be able to give ourselves a healthy amount of self-time as well, where we can talk to ourselves like if we are our own therapist and ask ourselves, how do you feel? Because you have to remember that your mind and your spirit is two separate beings. The mind is a part of this physical realm, which as the spirit is not. So you can literally talk to your brain as a separate entity. And it is very important, again, to stay as present as you can, because the more you choose to be present, the more you are able to process. When you are not here and you are somewhere in the future or you are somewhere in the past, you are not here to process the things you're going through. You're just kind of living by it. So that's why you feel so out of control. So there's a video that I also posted in my IGTV where this Mayan dude broke down a lot of those ideologies, and if you have the same struggle, I think you should go watch it. It should be very obvious to see which video it is. It's a guy with a huge Mayan gauge in his ear. He talks about that. He really breaks it down in a mannerism that I feel like people need to hear, because when you just tell someone directly, it becomes very emotional and the person can't absorb the information. But the way he broke it down, I think, is very more scientific, and would be more helpful. Let's see how much time we have left. Okay, we have a good 15 minutes or 10 minutes or so. Okay, someone said, Mecca Dawn, will I ever raise my frequency and ascend to the next level? Let's see. Sorry, I'm going to try to run through the questions a little faster just so I can try to get all of you guys. Oops. I feel like this one needs to come out. Okay, so for Mechadon, you got courage, which we just spoke about. You see me shuffle. This is the ancestors confirming this is synchronicity. And courage is a number 5, which 5 is for, let's show you the card. 5 is for forward movement, decisions, and not being stagnant. So let's see. So Ganesha has like an axe. He has a flower, a rope, a piece of his horn, and he's on a lion. So there's a lot going on here. A lot of things that require courage in order to use, right? And I feel like the lotus is most likely symbolism for growing out of the mud. So let's see. The warmth of your open heart can give comfort to all who cross your path. The root word for courage is courrier, which is the French word for heart, which I always say, sorry if I butchered that word. Courage comes from the heart. It is an inner strength guided by love, which seeks truth and justice. When you have the courage to be true to yourself, you start to feel empowered to act and live in ways true to your own soul, without any illusion. Ganesha is urging you to let down your guard and stop wearing a mask. Begin to be more respectful for yourself as well as for others. Beware of making harsh judgments about yourself and others. When you come from the heart, you will find that you relate better to others. Your innate gifts will be able to shine through. You are capable of leadership, achievement, and inspiring others to succeed through your own success. When you draw this card, it is a sign that your ability to cooperate and thrive in peer ventures with like-minded individuals is heightened. Be willing to do what is needed for things to run smoothly for you. Ganesha promises great success if you are willing to let down your walls. He is pictured here on the powerful lion, inherited from his mother Parvati. The lion represents the fierce nature of Ganesha. He calls on you now to trust the fearless part of your being, your own inner lion, and invites you to work with him to learn how to be valiant, and harness your heart's great courage. So, what I say, because I've been having spiritual experiences since I was a kid, it's something that I've been able to talk to more to my family now, because it was something that they were afraid of for a while. A lot of the women in my family can see spirits, and they're very intuitive. They also have like dreams that usually come into fruition. But I will say the reason that they're not able to tap into it all the way and ascend is because they're afraid of it. So that's where I feel like the card comes in for courage. Spiritual ascension takes a lot of courage. It takes courage to go against the norm. It takes courage to go against society. It takes courage to think outside of the box. It takes courage to beat your own programming, which you are beaten literally however old you are, years of programming, even before you. Talking about your lineage, your genetics get passed down from your parents, so whatever trial and tribulations they have always pass down to you as well. So what it takes is really courage to face the unknown, courage to face things that you may not like, courage to really excel and to be able to access parts of yourself that you would typically be afraid of looking through, which I like to talk about a lot is like toxic positivity and light work being the main focus of spirituality, when mostly what everyone experiences is the hard stuff, which is the shadow work. And the shadow work is the hard stuff. It's the ego work. It's the generational stuff. It's all the gunk of things that you've brought on with you over lifetimes. It's the karmic balances that you have to play out. It's your own physical ascension. So it's about how much you are willing to face yourself and to face the reality of the world, the reality of what it means to exist here. So again, it's really just about how well you can tap into that. It's not really whether or not you will spiritually ascend. It's about what are you doing to personally spiritually ascend. Are you meditating? Are you researching? Are you applying yourself? Are you reaching out to conscious communities? Are you connecting to conscious communities? Are you going to spiritual events? There's always some sort of spiritual event going on, whether it's like meditation circles, healing circles, or full moon or new moon circles. I know some people that host male healing workshops, or female healing workshops. Like, there's so many options for you to connect and have assistance if you feel like you personally don't know where to start. But your spiritual journey is literally within you. So it's about how well you can explore yourself and how much you are willing to explore yourself. So your ascension is not really up to anything outside of you. It's up to you and how much you decide to add to what you already have. It's about how well the teacher can become the student, or how well the student can become a teacher. So it's definitely a process, but I think everyone's capable of ascending, but it's also just about how much you are active in it. Alright, we have a few questions still, but I want to just look through just to see really quick what you guys have been talking about. Okay. Somebody asked, how do you change your belief systems? It's literally just about deprogramming yourself. It's about following your intuition. When you have people say butterflies are a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's your nervous system telling you warning signs. So your belief system definitely starts with your intuition, learning how to trust your intuition, learning how to understand your intuition, and then another thing is to sit down with yourself and be able to analyze what you do believe in. But it's like all of these things take a lot of work, and people keep trying to find like a fast track way to do it, or find like a really quick way to just have all the lessons and go through it. It's kind of like how you have to go through 4 years of high school, 3 years of middle school, 6 or 5 years of elementary school. Like, you have to do different packages of time and work with yourself. Like, you have to meditate. Meditating would always be like the first and foremost thing I would always recommend if you want to dive, because your spirit guides will help bring the thoughts forefront for you to go through and to work through, and really just like bring some clarity to yourself and understand what things don't resonate with you. Let's see. I have a few dreams where I was walking past a store and I see you on a poster, like you are a model in an advertisement. It seems so real that I confused it for happening in real life. Wow. Yeah, I get a lot of messages that I'm in people's dreams, and they always say that I'm always in all white, and I have like this really bright gold crown or like halo because it hovers above my head. So I'm always happy to hear when I go into people's dreams. We always work in the spirit. Definitely a sign for something, because when I come to people's dreams, it's usually some sort of spiritual work that I'm offering to that person. And a lot of the times too, people don't know eye activation. You can exchange a lot of information through eye activation, which my pictures, people say a lot, you can read a lot of my energy in my eyes. So I'm sure you just locking eyes with me on the poster was a sign of like healing or some sort of like energy exchange where I helped support you in your journey. Let's see. This is not a book. It's my tarot deck, oracle deck. It's a Ganesha deck, for who asked. Someone asked, how do I know what my gift is? So it really depends, but the best part to start with is learning about clear senses. And it's spelled CLAIR, senses like in your six senses. And the senses will break down whether you have eyesight to see, whether you smell, whether you taste, whether you hear spirits, or whether you can touch and feel things and pick up things. So that's a really, really, really great place to start, because most people have different senses that are more heightened than others. Some people only have one that really is active, some have multiple, some have all of them that works very well. So that's a really good place to start your research into understanding psychic abilities just in general, because then from there you can really branch off, because as they break down the senses, you'll be able to dive into like what other versions of things exist into that realm. So I'd definitely say start with learning about clear senses. If your mind is racing during meditation, you have to just allow it. Don't ever listen to anyone who says that you have to clear your mind, and that a quiet meditation is the best meditation. It's not. Your quiet mind comes in once you have more grounding, which takes a while, but you have to get through the noise. You have to sit and go through it. The purpose is for you to kind of like if you were flipping through a book, right? If you're meditating, say this is you meditating, and then your mind is like, okay, so let's start going through the chapters of your life, but then you're like, this is too much, like I only have like a 10-minute meditation that I can do right now, like I can't absorb all of this information. Then it's like, it's really literally that. Don't sit there and absorb and read everything. Like just allow the thoughts to keep going, and then you'll know if there's something you need to think about more, because it'll affect you different. But you have to keep letting yourself process through all those thoughts, because a lot of those thoughts are not yours. So you need to that's you trying to remove energy that does not belong to you. So don't ever feel discouraged by a racing mind. A quiet meditation is only gonna come into your life once you've gotten through all of that noise, and that can literally be any time frame for you. It just really depends on how well you get through it and when you're ready to be at that state, because then your vibration would have been risen enough to feel the difference and to be able to control your mind now. So don't feel discouraged if you find it hard to sit down and meditate. Like I said, run through those thoughts like if it's a book, and only stop on the thoughts that you need to. If you are giving up after you experience noise, then that means that you don't have any mental discipline, so you need to work on that. You need to figure out how to get yourself to be okay with it. But I do think that my live is going to cut off soon. So to the person that I didn't get to read, for you asked what does your future hold for you? I can send you a card in the DM, because I want to be able to save this live. So thank you to everyone that joined in. Thank you for being a part of the Good Omen Cyber Market. Feel free to go to their Instagram and go to their website to see all the other vendors. We all are producing handmade items for you guys. It's a handmade market. And it's usually a local market in Oakland, California, but they're cyber right now due to COVID. So please go support all the other vendors at goodomenmarket.com. And I look forward to doing more lives with you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Please look into more of my content and feel free to browse on my Etsy shop. I'm also doing 10% off with Good Omen Market as the code. So yeah, I also dropped some new merch, so go get that. And I hope you guys have a peaceful rest of your day. Namaste.